Hello everyone, Football Manager Tactics here and welcome to episode 9 of our Football Manager Beta 24 playthrough with Liverpool. Today is just going to be a short one. It's our end of season review. We have won the treble. If you haven't been following along, we have won the treble, the Premier League, the Europa League and the FA Cup. We have won them all. So we're just going to go through, have a look at some of the performances. We look at teams of the season, Golden Glove, Golden Boot, all of that stuff. Plans for next year and transfers for next year. And yeah, just have a look overall at the season and also a quick look ahead to next season. So we did some very good transfers ourselves. We did have some transfers obviously that were already done in real life that joined in the game on the date that they joined in real life. The standout for us though has been Jeremy Frimpong. He has been absolutely unbelievable for us. Signed for 40 million from Leverkusen. That was his release clause. He's got to be worth more than that now. Yeah, he's worth between 83 and 99 million. He's developed into a 4-star current ability, 4-star potential ability. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us. Delighted with the signing of him. Szoboszlai then, to be expected. Szoboszlai was unbelievable. He has 16 goals, 16 assists in about 50 games. So started 37, came on as a sub in 13. So delighted with that. Just to mention as well, Frimpong has 4 goals and 6 assists since he's come in January. Unbelievable from a fullback. Endo has played reasonably well for us, I suppose. We're probably going to look to get rid of him though. He is 31 going on 32. Has come up with 6 assists, 7.11 overall rating in 40 games for us. 30 games for us. But yeah, probably not good enough to hold on to. Gravenberch has been very good for us. 6 goals, 6 assists in 51 games for us. He's definitely going to be staying in the squad. He has massive potential for us. So yeah, we're going to be hanging on to him. Ousmane Diomande came in for 80 million. He's done all right. He's played 14 games, 1 goal, 1 assist. Probably worth, okay, I thought he was going to be worth a bit less, but worth between 123 to 146 million. He definitely one for the future, but he can still perform for us currently. We are going to be rotating our centre-backs quite a lot. Virgil is starting to get a bit older as well, so there definitely will be game time there for Diomande. Alexis McAllister, what can be said? We already know he's a Liverpool player. He's been very good for us this season. 8 goals, 4 assists in 54 games for us. So he's been heavily involved. Again, going to be a player that we're going to be hanging on to. Pavlovic. Pavlovic has been outstanding for us in the few games that he has played. Well, I mean, he's played 32 games. He scored 3 goals, and those 3 goals all came in one game. He scored a hat-trick in one game in the Europa League. 1 assist, a 7 overall rating. Signed for 30 million. He is now worth between 44 and 53. He's going to go on from strength to strength. He is only 23 years old. Plenty of time for him to develop into a outstanding centre-back. We also have Patrick Dorgu, came in for 25 million. We kind of, were thinking of using him as a bit part player, but then we lost Robertson to injury, so we had to recall him from his loan. We did loan him out to Millwall. But yeah, what can be said? 6.83 rating. He's definitely one for the future. Signed for 25 million. He's worth about double that now, maybe a little bit more. Definitely going to feature a lot more next season. He is only 19 and we're looking to keep hold of him. He will be one of our trained at club players for the Europa League or for the Champions League, hopefully going forward. Once he's been here for 3 years, he'll be trained at club between the age of 18 and 21. So we're looking for that. Andre was signed for 25 million. He's played 25 games, 0 goals, 0 assists, but that's fine. He is more of a defensive midfielder. 6.74 rating, signed for 25 million. He's worth about double that. Kind of mixed bag, to be fair. Not really sure where I stand on him. He's only 22, so we will give him a chance. We'll give him time to develop. Maybe next season, if he doesn't turn into the player that I hoped he would turn into, we might look to move him on. So let's check our results. We were expected to qualify for the Champions League. We've actually won the league. We had some very, very good results along the way. Our form definitely dipped towards the end with a loss and 2 draws out of 5 games. Not ideal, but we won the league. That's all I can ask for. I'm over the moon. 100 points with an 83 goal difference. Played 38, obviously. Won 32 of those with 4 draws and 2 losses. Europa League, we won. We were expected to win the Europa League. So delighted with that. We are only expected to challenge for the FA Cup, but we did actually come and win the FA Cup. If you'd watched last episode, you would have seen us win the FA Cup live. Struggled against Brighton, to be honest, but we deserved the win in the end. And then in the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out by Sheffield in the quarterfinal. I don't even know who won the Carabao or the League Cup, to be honest. It looks like it was City that won it on extra time. So congrats to City, I suppose. Moments to remember, our biggest win was that absolute surprise win, 7-0 against Spurs, very early on in the season. We absolutely just blasted them away. Match to remember was our 1-0 victory over City. That was actually huge for us. Darwin scored very early in the league game against City. It was the only goal. And then Salah wins goal of the season. He scored a goal against Brentford. So let's see if we can see that. It was his goal in the 36th minute. So let's find that goal. So this is the goal that won goal of the season for us. Konate had the ball, gave it to Salah, who absolutely smacks it from about 30 yards out. Typical Salah goal there, to be honest. Over the moon that he's won our goal of the season, at least for that. Here's Diaz with a goal. That's something that's been a rare sight this season. But anyway, moving on to our finances, we are looking very good overall financially. All green arrows, all up. Salah with our top shirt seller, with Darwin, Gakpo, Diaz and Szoboszlai as well. Yeah, financially looking very healthy. Our team of the season basically was Alisson, Frimpong, Konate, Virgil, Robertson, McAllister, Gravenberch, Salah, Szoboszlai, Jota and Gakpo, surprisingly. Nunez doesn't make it onto the team of the season. He did have a very drastic dip in form. The only reason I think Gakpo got in there is because he played so well in Europe. We'll have a look at that in just a few minutes. So I have won Premier League Manager of the Month in August, September, October, November, January, March, April, and then I won Manager of the Year. Our club awards, Fans Player of the Season is Salah with a 7.4 rating. The Young Player of the Season is Szoboszlai. Signing of the season is Frimpong. Goal of the season, as voted already, we watched, was Salah's goal against Brentford. Darwin is our top goal scorer with 28. Szoboszlai is our top assists maker, I suppose, with 16. Darwin has had most player of the match awards with 7. Salah achieved a highest average rating of 7.4. And most passes completed per 90 minutes was Strahinja Pavlovic, surprisingly. The world's best goalkeeper, Alisson, has won that. The Trofeo Samba d'Or, Alisson has won that. The Golden Glove, Alisson has won that. The Europa League Player of the Season goes to Curtis Jones, absolutely deservedly. Had a phenomenal season for us, especially in the Europa League. Golden Boot for the Europa League goes to Gakpo. The CAF Footballer of the Year was won by Salah. The CAF Midfielder of the Year was won by Salah. And the Europa League Young Player of the Season goes to Frimpong. Record breakers, Salah broke a record this season with 4 goals in a game. Most assists as well, breaks a record with 16 assists. Alisson breaks a record for most clean sheets in a season with 24. Darwin has broken a record with most player of the match for 7. And Andrew Robertson has broken a record for our worst discipline with 8 yellow cards this season. So we are history in the making. Happy days, yeah, we know all about this. This is our manager timeline. So we started, Alisson won golden goalie. We got Salah to agree to a new year contract, or a 2-year contract. He was thinking about leaving. The Saudi clubs were sniffing around. He was wanted by them, but we did manage to tie him down. Record points haul, won the league. Manager year for me. Set a new record for goals in the Europa League with 46 goals. We won the Europa League and then we won the FA Cup. So that's the season review. If we go and take a look at our squad, we'll see that the player with the most goals was Darwin Nunez with 28 goals and 5 assists. Then next was Gakpo with 25 goals, 7 assists. Salah with 24 goals, 16 assists. Curtis Jones finished off the season with 19 goals and 11 assists. Probably would have had a lot more goals, but due to the fact that he was injured for a few weeks, meant that he didn't really get to play much at the tail end of the season. Szoboszlai then with 16 and 16. Jota with 14 and 6. Konate has had 8 goals and 1 assist. McAllister 8 goals, 4 assists. Harvey 7 goals, 5. Gravenberch 6 and 6. Diaz with 4 and 4. That's such a poor return for a winger. Really not happy with that. I'm probably going to move him on, to be honest. I mean, Frimpong, who's a right back, has the same amount of goals and more assists than him. And he only joined in January. So, I mean, it just goes without saying that Diaz has been very, very poor this season. And then the rest have just kind of contributed goals and assists. Trent with 14, Joe Gomez with 10 assists, Robbo with 9 assists, Endo with 6. So, yeah, that's kind of how it turned out, to be honest, for our players. We go to competitions, we go to Premier League, and then we go to awards. The Golden Glove obviously went to Alisson. The Footballer of the Year was Haaland, because Haaland has 35 league goals and 6 assists in 30 games. That's just ridiculous. Goal of the season goes to Miralem Pjanic, surprisingly, but he scored a goal from 25 meters out. Very good for him. None of our players are in that. The Golden Boot goes to Haaland, with Calvert-Lewin in second place and Nunez in third. The PFA Player of the Year is Haaland. The Premier League Team of the Year, so this is where it gets interesting. We have 6 players in the Team of the Year. Alisson, Virgil, Konate, Trent, Salah, and Nunez. 6 players in the Team of the Year. That's unbelievable. Totally happy with that. Probably deserved, to be honest, as well. Obviously, a couple of City players are in there. Haaland, De Bruyne, and Mateus Nunez, surprisingly. He's been apparently very, very good for City. So good signing for them. The Young Player of the Year went to Martinelli this year. Fortunately, none of our players won it. 7.41 rating though. Can't argue with that. That's fantastic. Well done to Martinelli. And then if we take a look at the Europa League and the awards, the Player of the Season was Curtis Jones. Second place was Frimpong. Third place was Joe Gomez. We absolutely dominated this. Jones deservedly with a 7.67 rating in the Europa League. The Europa League was his playground this season. So yeah, over the moon for him. And then our 2 right backs. Joe Gomez mainly played at right back in the Europa League. Had a great season, just shy of the average rating that Frimpong had. But Frimpong, since he came in January, has been an absolute revelation. So he deserves to be second in the Player of the Season. Golden Boot, as we touched on already. Gakpo won the Europa League Golden Boot with 10 goals. Salah was second with 7, and Curtis Jones was third with 7. So again, we are dominating the top 3 there. So over the moon with that. The squad of the season, again, as you'd expect, is dominated by our players. 7 players in there. So Jota, Gakpo, Salah, Frimpong, Gravenberch, McAllister, Diomande, Rui Patricio deservedly is in there. He was immense in the 2 games against us for Roma, so he deserves to be in there. And then the Europa League Young Player of the Season that we already mentioned, Frimpong, 7.68 average rating, just absolutely unbelievable. So where does that leave us for next season? Well, overall, I'm pretty happy with the squad that we have. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of players returning from loan as well. Some players that we definitely want to mix into the squad, especially for our Champions League squad. It's going to be important to have homegrown players for our Champions League squad. I'm going to let's just see right now if we ask Diaz agent about offers. There's no one willing to make an offer for him, but PSG and Real Madrid are interested. PSG not willing to make an offer while they're prioritizing other positions, and Real Madrid probably right now is not the right time. But we could get up to 126 million for him. So if we just put that in, I would be happy to get 126 million for Diaz, to be honest. That would really open up the door for us to sign a lot more young players to try and develop, or potentially we could sign a younger player but more established. There is one player that we actually do have on our radar. We take a look at our shortlist. Nico Williams, we've already made contact with his agent. He is extremely interested. He has a release clause of 50 million, so he could definitely be a replacement. Not directly for Diaz, as he mainly plays on the right rather than the left, but we do have an abundance of players that can play on the left, whereas the only players that we really have that can play on the right is Harvey and Ben Doak. So maybe having someone else come in who can play on the right would be ideal. We also forgot to mention, we have arranged the transfer of this guy, Stanis Idumbu Muzambu. He's joining us on a free from Ajax, 18 years old. He can actually play on the left, but he's nowhere near really ready for the first team. He's definitely more so for the future. 18 years old, but he will be joining us at the end of the season on a free. But again, just more players that can play on the left. We're blessed with players that can play on the left. But yeah, Nico Williams is definitely one that we were having a very long look at. A few more that we were looking at was like the likes of Schlotterbeck and Scalvini. They just turned out to be too expensive. I'm very happy with what we have in the centre back role at the moment, so we won't be making moves for them. Kubo, I just was interested in him because he had asked to leave and he was available for 50 million. Didn't pull the trigger on him because I just didn't really think that he was worth it, to be honest. Same goes for Mukoku. He asked to leave, but I think Dortmund were looking for like 100 million for him. He would have been great to bring in as a backup striker, but we're fairly okay for strikers as well. And yeah, I just couldn't justify spending 100 million on him. Would have been great if we'd been able to do a good deal for him, but yeah, we're not interested in him anymore. So as you can see, we have 79, nearly 80 million available in a transfer budget. I don't know why the wage budget says 458,000 per week. Our wage budget is actually at 5 million per week. We are spending 4.5 on wages already. So if we are to move a few players on, hopefully we can bring that down to maybe just under 4 million, which will free up a lot of room in our wage budget so that we can make more signings. Again, with Diaz going, that will free up probably about, I don't actually know how much Diaz is on. How much is he on? Diaz is on 220 per week. So that will free up a good chunk of wage budget. And also if we were to get 100 plus million for him, yeah, that would be obviously very ideal for us. So yeah, that is the season review as far as this season is concerned. Really in a strong position going into next season. Very much looking forward to being back in the Champions League. Very much looking forward to challenging for the league again and some of the other cups. Because we won the FA Cup, I might not focus on it so much next season. Definitely all focus will be on the league and also the Champions League. Looking forward to making some signings. Looking forward to see how we can keep shaping the team as we go forward. But that is it from me, at least for this season and for this video. So thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you've been following along, I hope you've enjoyed this season. I hope you're looking forward to next season as much as I am. I'm very much so looking forward to it. But that is it from me. Thank you so much. I will see you next season in my next video.